Hello and welcome to another episode with me, Miss Envy. You ready to jump in? Good.
Random facts. In 2023, this emoji became the most used emoji in the world, taking out the laughing emoji, which held first place for many years. The world record for the loudest thing ever shouted belongs to an Irish teacher who shouted the word quiet at 121 decibels, which is the equivalent of a jet engine. Commenting the word scream unlocks a secret TikTok emoji. The sentence, "The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog," uses every letter in the English alphabet. If you lived 65 million light years away and had a massive telescope, you would be able to see dinosaurs roaming the earth. You can see who has you blocked on TikTok by clicking share. Slide to the very end and click more, then click blocked. And if nothing pops up, that means nobody has blocked you yet. Cockroaches wash themselves after being touched by a human. The Eiffel Tower gets taller during the summer and shrinks during the winter. If you like and follow me, you can get smarter each day.
I'm pretty sure I could beat that Irish teacher. I've screamed for toilet paper much louder than that before.
Emojis are demonic sigils? What are you saying?
Yeah, the original 72 emojis. They're not just little faces, not just cute little symbols we throw around in texts. No, they're demonic sigils. Actual sigils. Spells. Hidden right in plain sight. You ever heard of the Lesser Key of Solomon, the ancient book? The book where King Solomon wrote down symbols to control and summon demons. You know how many there were? 72. 72! Same number as the first emojis ever created for Windows, Mac, iOS, everywhere. Coincidence? Nah. Just look at this. See the laughing emoji? The one with the X's for eyes? That's a sigil. The tongue emoji? Exact match with a demonic seal. Look at this one. Come on. This one. Look at the zipper mouth emoji. You think that's random? No. It's a symbol for silence. A spell. And check this out. See the one with the teeth? The big, exaggerated grin? Compare it to this ancient sigil. It's identical. Identical! You still think this is an accident? A fluke? Man, every single emoji we've been using, laughing, crying, even the damn heart emoji, it's all part of something bigger. We've been using these symbols for years, not knowing what they really mean. So when you send that little yellow face, ask yourself, what are you really summoning?
This is just a theory, not a fact.
Yeah, I definitely think it's a theory. I honestly don't see any negative connotations attached to an emoji. I think everybody can relate to it like a universal language. Maths is a universal language, and so are emojis. When I put a laughing emoji in front of you, do you honestly think my intention is evil? It's all about the intention, folks.
The most disgusting customs of the Middle Ages. The Queen Isabella of Castile frequently boasted about her status as a warrior queen, often emphasizing her adherence to certain customs. Among these, she proudly proclaimed that she had only taken 2 baths in her entire lifetime, one upon her birth and the other prior to her wedding. Weddings were typically scheduled for June, as May was considered the month when bathing was most frequent. This practice led to the tradition of bridal bouquets intended to mask any potential odors. Additionally, fans were commonly utilized by women to conceal their decaying teeth and to mitigate unpleasant breath. Hair should be as long as possible, and the more oily, the better. Tiaras and hats were also usually used to hide lice and prevent them from falling into food. During this era, the state of one's teeth was indicative of wealth, with rot and yellowness signifying access to expensive commodities like sugar. Furthermore, there was a belief that excessive washing of a woman's private parts could lead to infertility, so she had to live with that odor.
If you put this man next to a pig, you get the ancient Egyptian word for turquoise. Yeah, this is almost going to sound too dumb to be true, but think about if you wanted to make an ideogram for another word like penmanship. You could do an intricate line drawing of a scribe, or you could break the word down into 3 parts and depict it as a pen plus a man plus a ship. Penmanship. That's exactly what ancient Egyptians did sometimes. The Egyptian word for turquoise was kesteb, and you could come up with a new symbol to write that word, or you could just use 2 existing ones. Kes, the word for stop, and teb, one of the words for pig. Kesteb. And written language used to be pretty flexible like this until pure alphabet systems took over, because as you can imagine, it would be pretty confusing to come across these symbols and have to guess whether it's a literal story of a man catching a pig or if it's like a weird phonetic gimmick to conjure the name of this. But if we still had that flexibility, would you be able to break down your name into symbols?
Oh, from now on, I'm not saying turquoise anymore. I'm saying Kesteb.
This is the most chilling thing you'll hear about 2025. Remember the time traveler who predicted the COVID-19 pandemic? They called him crazy, but you won't believe what he says happens next. Drew Curtis claims that Elon Musk and President-elect Donald Trump will have a major fallout. He says there's a near 100% chance that Trump will throw Musk under the bus. Imagine two of the most controversial figures in modern history clashing. And what happens next? Curtis warns, the Menendez brothers, yes, the infamous siblings convicted of murdering their parents, will walk free in 2025. Recent legal reviews could lead to their parole after decades behind bars. Can you imagine the chaos and fear this could unleash? And then there's the climate crisis. He says that 2025 will be the hottest year ever recorded, with the most devastating hurricane season in history. Entire cities could be destroyed. Millions of lives could be at risk. What if he's right? What if 2025 changes everything? Save this video to remember these unsettling warnings, because this can affect us all.
After Little X said what he said in the Oval Office the other day, I wouldn't be surprised if Trump decides to throw Elon under the bus.
Inside an airplane is an employee who's recording a video showing what he does in a typical workday. As part of a cleaning crew, his main job is to clean planes that have just landed. This is something that he often does at night, especially with planes that are big enough to hold the most trash. But one night, he decides to do something different. Rather than leaving the plane that he just cleaned, he stays behind. Usually, a cabin cleaner moves on to clean the next aircraft, but seeing that his work was done and that no passengers would board the plane for a while, he stays. Purely for the fun of it, he does this. But this experience was anything but fun, because as he hides in the back of the plane, this happens.
I know I'm not dumb enough to lift those shades up because I got my flash on in here. They gonna catch my ass if they see. Yes. I ain't gonna lie to y'all though, it's mad cold in here. And it's dark. No, it doesn't look that dark on the camera, but it's dark. Let's go! Let's go! Right, sitting on the back of the plane. And y'all probably think I'm insane. Probably think I'm doing this for fame. Say, probably think I'm doing this for fame.
Caught off guard, he walks over to see if anyone's there, but to his shock, the space is completely empty. Somehow, the seatbelt flings out towards the aisle in a sudden motion, without there being someone on the seat. It seemingly throws itself, as if unbuckled by a passenger who's eager to get off the plane. Whatever it was that just happened scared the living daylights out of him, so much so that he scurries back to his hiding spot in the back of the plane. Hours pass, and he gets off the plane after personnel finds him inside. All in all, this experience has left him so rattled that he continues to share updates talking about this incident and mentioning how he should have stayed out of this plane. It goes without saying, but this incident has spooked him beyond belief.
Notice how the ghost was quite calm up until the point where she started rapping. Dude, don't quit your day job just yet, because even the ghosts don't like what you have to say.
You remember that first episode of Skinwalker Ranch where they hit the ranch superintendent with a directed energy weapon? No? Let's watch.
One day I decided to do some digging, and then 3 days after, I noticed that I had a goose egg on the back of my head. By the time I let my wife finally take me to the emergency room, the goose egg had actually spread through my entire head. My scalp separated from my skull. The pain is so excruciating. I've never felt anything like it before in my life. The doctors had no idea what caused it.
Hold up. That's the same brain scan that was used in a Vice article. Look at that. But the Vice article one has some extra drawings on there. And what do they say? Well, look, it's the direction of the radiation, and it's coming from above and behind Thomas Winterton. The subject of the article, Dr. Gary Nolan, states very clearly that it's not a UFO, it's an energy weapon being used by a state actor. This is going to come as a shock to a lot of you, but Skinwalker Ranch probably doesn't have anything to do with aliens and has everything to do with exotic weapon technology. Back in 2008, Bob Bigelow, the former owner of Skinwalker Ranch and Bigelow Aerospace, signed a contract with the Defense Intelligence Agency to report on new technologies. The reports they were preparing were meant to encapsulate everything around advanced aerospace weaponry, including lift, propulsion, etc., including the human effects of being in contact with these new technologies. One of these reports deals with the anomalous acute and subacute field effects on human biological tissues. It was prepared by Dr. Christopher Kit Green, and he goes over how various advanced aerospace technologies can expose humans to exceptionally strong exotic fields that can cause all kinds of crazy shit, heating and burn effects, internal neurological psychiatric injury, etc. And quote, since the potential deployment of advanced weapons technology is subsumed under this topic, of interest are not only the side effects associated with possible lift and propulsion field mechanisms of advanced craft architectures, but also the effects from advanced weapon systems as well. These include, but are not limited to, beam weapons and active denial systems, including high-powered microwaves. And these have the ability to cause frontal temporal headaches with millimeter waves, pulses of radio frequency to disorient and destabilize muscular coordination, and at this frequency, they can also cause thermoelastic expansion in the brain, which is pretty much exactly what we saw in Thomas Winterton's injuries. Dr. Nolan, who has Thomas Winterton's brain scans in this Vice article, was working hand in hand with Dr. Green, who wrote this paper. It's funny, you don't hear any mention of skinwalkers in any of these briefs that Bigelow Aerospace put together, so it's looking a lot less like spooky paranormal and a whole hell of a lot more like treason.
We are just one big experiment to these people. MK Ultra has nothing on Skinwalker Ranch by the looks of things.
Should you let your kids play in the dirt? Science says yes, but it's not for the reasons that you think. Studies show that early exposure to dirt can help kids develop stronger immune systems. But why is that? Because dirt actually contains harmless microbes that boost the diversity of the gut microbiome, which helps the immune system recognize friend or foe. Research even found that children that play in the forest, as opposed to on gravel, had better immune responses, and that kids who grew up on farms with exposure to pets and soil actually had less allergies and better immune responses than those that didn't. So let them get messy.
All the way, let them play. Don't worry about them getting sick in the beginning. It's building their immune systems. That and your pets. I can't keep my straight face on this one. Oh, I'm all red in the face now. All right, we've made it to another episode. Thank you so much for sitting with me right to the end. If you have, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. As always, please like, share, and subscribe so that the show can grow. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day, week, morning, afternoon. Much love. Goodbye.